Hello again, my friends. This is Old Tom Jin rejoining my playthrough of Fallout 4 Survival Mode, my permadeath run. Piper was just here, just before I went on. Piper was right here, and I said, "All right, Piper, we're off to go to the Corvega factory." And she just decided, oh well, she'll catch up with me. Well, what we did last time was the first of two settlement quests, one of which
Hope this rain lets up soon.
I just kind of took upon myself to do, and that was helping out the Abernathys, getting back their locket from their poor deceased daughter Mary. So that one's done, and we actually took that one because it just happened to be on the way to take on another quest to help out the poor, sad folks at Ten Pines Bluff. One that, of course, any of you who have played the game know very, very well is most of the time the first Minuteman quest you get there, the first settlement that asks for help. And I'm going to help them if I can all work on it. I should. It's been a few days since I've played though, and I want to make absolutely sure I don't get cocky here. Before I logged in tonight, I was a little concerned. I'm like, don't get rusty, don't get cocky, don't forget that you're playing a permadeath run. Don't run around and run into danger. Don't get overconfident. The first rule of this thing is you can always die. You can always die. You're never really safe. So you have to really check out. For instance, one thing I want to do very quickly. I'm actually going to do it here at the old Red Rocket because I forgot to do it at Sanctuary. Well, when I say forgot, I kind of wanted to get out of there. I really need to let me see if I can craft this. Oh yeah, so there we go. I just want to craft one of these. That of course is the campfire spawner grenade. The campfire grenade. A great little item that saves our bacon more than one occasion. And when we forget to carry one, and we say, oh, well, we'll save when we'll rest, and thereby save when we get back to camp, that's the time when the game crashes. And we don't want to get stuck in that situation again. So we're going to carry one. So if we achieve our objectives and survive the night here, we're probably going to want to use that to take a quick, well-deserved nap. And make sure that all that effort doesn't go in vain. Go for naught. So here we go. We're moving southward, and of course, as predicted, also as happens about 90 to 95% of the time, our target is the Corvega Assembly Plant, which is in Lexington. You can see the stacks of it right over there. Looks pretty far away, but it's actually, not that far compared to some of the places we've been so far in the game. And it's a serious place. It's one of the, I think, larger raider camps in the Commonwealth. It's a big gang, as we know. Again, I think I mentioned a couple sessions ago, or maybe last session, they had a faction which was going after Preston's group in Concord. So they have a lot. They have the numbers for sure, and a lot of people refer to them in other. If you read some of the other computer entries and the diary entries. Other groups are kind of, other raider groups are kind of jealous of the Corvega gang. They're considered very successful.
I'm very successful.
I was just talking about success, Piper. Funny you mentioned that, but in a completely different way. So they're pretty tough. Now, of course, they're technically considered to be in an early zone, so I suppose you could say that they tend to be leveled a little bit lower than, say, the Saugus Ironworks, which I consider to be a very lethal raider gang, and there are a few other tough ones around the Commonwealth. Certainly, the Gunners Plaza might be. I don't know if maybe we don't consider the Gunners raiders exactly, but in terms of enemy factions, Gunners Plaza is pretty hard to beat. But for a low-level character, this one, or even a mid-level character, this one is no joke. Especially, of course, on permadeath run, on survival mode, when All it takes is one humble raider with a couple of Molotovs, and that's it for me. I'm level 19 right now. But that's no assurance. That's not. This is not a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. And if I am careless, if I make mistakes, as I said, if I get overconfident in this assault here, we're in trouble. And so I'm going to do what I usually do. Find the sneaky way to do it. Frontal assaults are not the order of the day. Not for this character, not for this run. Just I'm giving the Grey House of Death a wide berth here. You never know what's in there. This is not the time I want to be messing around with some super mutants. I'm also, of course, as I'm level 19, I'm right on the verge of a divisible by 5 level. I'm right on the verge of level 20, at which point enemies will start to scale up. And what does that mean? Oh, it means more enemies with missile launchers, higher chance of encountering super mutants with fat men, or raiders for that matter with fat men. The game gets dangerous because, of course, I personally think that the game is very, very dangerous, certainly when you're low level, when you're first going out, as we have seen in past sessions when I've encountered synths and almost been killed by a single shot. Crazy dangerous. Then, it doesn't exactly level out, but you can take a hit, you learn your way around. Then you get to, again, this is particular, I think, to survival mode. You get to about level 20, 25, and things start to get dangerous again because those higher level enemies with more powerful explosives and high-powered weapons and more weapon perks start to appear. So there it is, Corvega. See, we got there pretty quickly. Just me jabbering away. I just consider Corvega, of course they would take it. I mean, it is a mighty fortress. It has great visibility over the entire landscape. I want to make sure that while I'm jabbering here, I'm not encountering anyone who's sneaking up on me or any kind of rare spawn. I don't think there's anything here. Lexington is filled with ghouls, of course, but I'm not really that worried about them. But of course, it's got well, apparently independent power that lasts all this time. It's got mostly working lights. It's got these tall towers that can survey the environment. Doesn't have a lot of windows, so it's fairly defensible. Of course they take it. And it is a veritable fortress. Now, what we're going to do right now is we're going to keep Piper back here. I want Piper out of sight because I don't want Piper getting spunky and deciding she's going to start shooting at these guys. The entire principle of this run, from beginning to end almost, is, strike from stealth wherever possible, observe before you strike and retreat, just very much, never do I want to get into a stand-up fight if I can help it. Never do I want to fall off of the terrain either. So we just want to approach everything very, very carefully. And if at all possible, I'm going to be wanting to shoot people from a very, very far range away. Like, for instance, this person right here. Right there, like that. See? That's the first example. And we're just going to retreat. Now, even with the enhanced AI, it's not so dramatic that I'm worried about them coming after me, but I'm still going to back off. And yes, I realize I'm backing away from Piper, but that's how we're going to work this. We're going to basically leave Piper in a neutral space. I'm going to move forward, and then I'm going to move away from Piper into at least a semi-covered space, like right here, and wait for them to look around, they don't see anybody, hopefully slowly calm down. Now, again, there's always surprises in this game, and with the AI mods that I'm working with, I can't be entirely sure that they will behave the way they have behaved in the past for me. Okay, I've just gone back into hidden, so not so crazy. But yeah, I do wonder about this. Like, am I gonna encounter something unexpected? Is someone gonna get super aggro and come hunting for us with a fistful of a bag full of Molotovs and, you know, ruin our day. Entirely possible. Is there somebody up there already by some strange chance of fate and roll of the dice, the roll of the odds, who has a missile launcher and is going to shoot me or shoot that car next to him, that car wreck next to me, and blow it up? Entirely possible. Like I said, I'm just trying to consider all the possibilities here, folks. There's a ton of stuff that could hurt me in this playthrough. So right down there, of course, we see a couple easy targets. Right there's an automated turret, which I'm going to want to take out sooner or later. But I'm mainly interested. The ones that really concern me are the ones who are up there in the towers. Not that they can all strike at me, but you never know. Some of them do have. They could be spawned with sniper rifles like mine. And you'll notice that I'm actually, in many of these cases, beyond VATS range, and that pretty much is going to be it's going to be a part of my survival strategy. It's not perfect, but at least, you know, if I'm beyond the VATS range, then I consider that to be long distance. If I'm within the VATS range, then there's a possibility that someone might be able to close with me in a reasonable amount of time. There's a possibility they might be able to close to lob a grenade, or that they're close enough to detect me quickly enough to get off a missile launcher before I can retreat. Again, it's not foolproof. As we saw, actually, the other session when we were after Kellogg, heading his way, there was a random raider psycho, I believe, who was hitting us with his gun beyond VATS range from an overpass. It was like way out, and that was kind of a wake up call to me. That says like, okay, I thought that VATS strategy earlier was, I'm like, well, look at that, I'm in caution, I'm right over here, I must retreat. Wow, that is scary. This is going to be challenging. This is going to be challenging. It's not going to take much to ruin my day. Let me make sure there's not somebody up there. There rarely is. But then again, I haven't played with the Fallout patch too many times, and I haven't played with the unofficial patch, that is. And I haven't played with these mods, and I always wondered if there should have been some more raiders up on this overpass, and I don't see anybody. But then again, it's so overcast, it's hard to see anybody right now. It could also be ghouls down in the town. I'm almost hoping it is ghouls, because ghouls, at least if they close, no big deal. I'll deal with it. Let's go back here to our earlier position, see if we see anybody else. Yeah, usually I'm used to seeing some of them walking along the scaffolding here, along the upper layers, and I'm not seeing it right now. It's kind of surprising to me. I think I'm going to take a risk to shoot this thing and draw him out. Holy shit, I'm in danger. I can't believe that. I'm out of here. That is nuts. That is that AI, folks. It is really, really... That's crazy. And once again, those of you who are not used to playing on this mode, you're not used to doing permadeath runs, you might be like, this guy runs at the drop of a hat. And in fact, is one of my highlight videos is me running from a deathclaw. And like I said, this mode, it's the way I've got to play. It's the way I've got to play, or else I just will not make it. But the rapidity with which I went into danger, with which they pinned me down just now, is very concerning to me. Because I am kind of depending on being able to take... Wow, they must have gotten real close. I could hear his voice. That's nuts. Where did that guy get to? Of course, I'm picking up the rad roach. That's super aggressive. They must have come all the way out to the point where I can hear them. Of course, that's the rad roach detecting me right there. Where did you get to, gentlemen? Oh, there he is. Okay. Back off again. We're in caution this time, so that's good. So maybe he just happened to be walking down there? I don't know if that's the case. Okay, we're in hidden. And this is the game we're going to play. It's just cat and mouse, cat and mouse. I mean, of course, if this were a real... If this were this were 76 for that matter, or... something with actual human intelligence or some more advanced intelligence, I would be doing somewhat the same thing, but it would be very much more drawn out. I would be, changing position, a real sniper build. I would be very, very carefully changing position almost basically every shot. I took that guy out, which is nice. That's one less to worry about. Do I see any more? There's usually another gentleman hanging out. A raider hanging out up here. I think I'm going to take out that light. That also attracts a little attention. And there we go. In danger again. Crazy. All I have to do is basically stay near the shot. And oh, and that, you know what that was? That was a bullet. That was a bullet going near me. That's nuts. And I'm well aware that I'm leaving Piper over there, but Piper's fine. She can take care of herself. The whole principle here is if they're going to get up here and shoot at something, have them shoot at the companion. And if she gets into trouble, I'll rescue her. But if we both get into trouble, that's it. While I'm at it, I'm peckish. Time for a quick... snack. So, I don't... You know what also is concerning to me? I couldn't even scan the dude that shot at me. So they are indeed doing exactly what I'm doing. So it's... Talk about a fair fight. I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I have a nice advantage here. I can go back beyond VATS, and I get the drop on them from a long distance. That does not appear to be the case. Does not appear to be the case at all. So let's do a quick and a careful scan of the upper areas here again, and let's see if anyone has turned up that I didn't see before. Where did that shot come from? Is there anybody up here? Is that where it came from? It's possible. There's a guy. There we go. One more down. He may have been the one shooting at me. He may not have been. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna take him out just the same. I mean, talk about a great place. Well, if it's within range, if you have a long enough range weapon, what a great place for a sniper position. You could literally cover the whole building. So he's down. So that's nice. There's usually somebody walking around up here. I haven't seen them. But, usually doesn't apply now, right? It's people walking, they go beyond their patrol areas with the enhanced AI. They do a lot of stuff. Some people have, by the way, suggested other AI mods that I could be using. And just to be clear, I did try some other AI mods. Oh, look at that guy. I did try some other AI mods, and some of them do make a bigger difference, but I found some of them to be how do I put this? I don't want to offend anybody who's put. Obviously, people put a lot of hard work into these things. I find them to be too chaotic for my taste, and I know that's going to come off as me saying like, well, I like my enemies to be predictable. No, that's I'm not saying that I'm like, oh, well, you just want to predict their walking patterns, and no, it's not so much that. I'm talking about things that just don't make sense. Like there's some of them out there that you will regularly see, like, super mutants, swimming through the river, or just walking in the river, or things that just kind of wander endlessly into weird places, to the point where like they don't even make sense with guards, for instance. So, like you have an NPC that spawned to guard a location, and they go wandering across. Like these guys might go wandering halfway across Lexington, chasing ghouls, and ghouls attacking them, and it becomes so chaotic. It just basically it increases their detection radius and their aggression, that they're just anything that's remotely near one another. They attack each other. They go kind of wandering across. They keep aggro-kiting each other across the Commonwealth. I mean, is that really helpful? Is that immersive? I don't find it to be immersive. I find it to just kind of be weird. So I see what they're going for, but again, it's hard to say like, well, I'm going to improve the AI by just turning some dials. Yes and no. Like you can turn them so far, but at a certain point you start to, again, just as I mentioned with other mods, you run into the law of unintended consequences, right? So oh, I missed that guy, and I missed it because I was talking. I shouldn't have been doing that. And the sun's coming up. Well, at least that's going to give me a better view. But the law of unintended consequences does come into play, where you're like, oh, well, I didn't know if I turned this up that it would cause this to happen. So you gotta factor that in. One thing I do like is in some of these is that it causes shadows to be very important for stealth and cover in sunlight. I believe I've read so many mod descriptions, it's a little hard to remember, but I believe that immersive Fallout does that to an extent. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's the case. Boy, I wish I had hit that guy. That would have been very handy, but I'll have to wait. Of course, now I want to just sit here and wait for him. This is what you do. I mean, sniper, as people have said, I think in other, about other video games, like sniper, the realistic sniper of the game would be intensely boring for most people, because it would be a lot of like kind of, well, number one, you'd have a spotter who would basically be, finding things for you to focus on, and making sure you have situational awareness. But there's a lot of sitting around waiting for the shot. Make one shot, relocate, get out, set up again, make another shot. That's a half an hour later, or 45 minutes later, or an hour later, or 2 hours later, or 10 hours later. It's like it's crazy. It's very slow and methodical. The methods of the sniper. Here's that guy again. Luckily, we don't have to wait that long because time is compressed here. See if I can make this shot this time. There we go. That time I got him. My big fan of the. I'll tell you what. One of the things that was changed in this game was the recoil. One of the mods I picked alters recoil, and I'm a really big fan of that. it definitely makes the game feel a little bit, just a tad more visceral. And that's welcome. Well, I don't see anybody coming for me, and I don't see my hide meter fluctuating at all, so I think we're in pretty good shape. There are, by the way, a whole lot of guys outside and around this building, so I don't think I've ever gotten a proper count. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I actually know how many guys there are out here. And when I say guys, I mean raiders, who can, of course, be any. They don't have to be guys. The point is, they're murderers. They're all murderers, those raiders, regardless of their orientation or identification. I think there's another one down here. Typically, maybe he came down the stairs and I took him out already. I don't know. What I typically do here is after there's the two that I downed right there, so that's pretty good. That makes me feel a little bit better. What I typically do here at this point is I work my way up this overpass. I want to be doubly careful that I'm not going to get surprised. It only really gets more dangerous from here, folks. It really does. I mean, I got to tell you that the game for the next few sessions is going to be me basically building up the settlement network, working with Preston Garvey and his gang. And when I say working with, I mean me doing most of the work and them giving me quests. But I'm going to be working with him, you know, to build up the Minutemen on the assumption that he's going to do the same for me. He's going to help me. I'm going to help him. He's going to help me. And Sturgis is going to help me as well. Oh, look at that. Went into caution again. It's got to be the ghouls. Maybe not, though. The ghouls should be farther away from where... And I'm not picking up anyone on VATS. So who is putting me into caution? Talk about something that makes me paranoid. My God. Okay, it is a ghoul. Let's deal with him. Is that ghoul, like, he looks like he's hanging out. Doesn't he? He's just hanging out. He's not sitting in the chair, but it looks like he's leaning against the doorway. Alright, so, so... I usually take care of the ghouls when I get down there. But I think I might want to take a few of them out while I'm up here. Oh, the other thing I live in terror of course, which has happened to me before, is sometimes Bethesda's, in their infinite wisdom, had placed the... when they created the areas, they placed the cars in the air, or they didn't set the height of the wrecked cars correctly, and they kind of just fall off. People have been killed by the cars falling off the overpasses. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe they intended the cars to be kind of falling off as a sign of decay in the distance, but I don't know. It seems a little wonky to me. It doesn't feel like it's actually an intentional implementation. But no, the idea is that with Preston is that, hey man, this is the deal. I need to get into the glowing sea. You all in Sanctuary are in possession of the only suit of power armor that I know. I know how to use it, but you know I'm not going to just take it from them. I mean, I could in the game, but come on. I mean, they showed me the thing. It's sitting in Sanctuary. It's their suit of power armor. Oh, look who that is. Another individual. So it only makes sense to me that I would say, hey, let's make a deal here. I know you've been asking me to help out and rebuild the Minutemen. I will. On one condition. Sturgis is going to help me rebuild and upgrade that suit of power armor, because there's no way in hell I'm going through the glowing sea in a baseline suit of T-45. No way. I mean, I think Thomas is experienced enough in this world at this point that even though he doesn't know specifically what I know as a player, he knows enough, and he'd know enough to ask, what kind of stuff can I expect to find in the glowing sea? Well, you can find albino deathclaws and giant rad scorpions, and you've seen glowing ones. You'll see plenty of those. Like, okay, we need to get serious about this. I'm never going to survive this unless I am absolutely loaded for bear. Look at that. We seem to be... So that was the one that I was really worried about. Was the one of the highly placed ones up there. And I seem, knock on wood, to have taken them out. Now I'm very concerned about... Oh boy, I'm still compressing my hide bar though. There still could be something up here, and I still could be out of range, but I don't really want to hang out here in the open. At the risk of there being somebody up here... Oh, Jesus. There we go. And that is a raider. There's a raider out there somewhere. Okay. Where is he? Good God. There doesn't appear to be anybody up here, so that's good. But the question is, where is the guy who just detected me? He detected something. He wasn't sure what he saw. That's probably the only reason I'm still alive. Well, maybe not the only. I mean, I have no idea what kind of weapon he has, but or if he could reach me with a grenade. You know, that's the other thing, that the thing that drives me a little bit crazy, and some people have mentioned it. I do have a mod in here to take care of. It basically reduces the accuracy of certain factions, including settlers, I might add. Basically, the idea being that raiders shouldn't be as accurate as gunners, and raiders and gunners should... Oh, there he is, right there. That's that guy I was wondering about. It reduces their accuracy on the principle that these are guys who use a lot of chems all the time, and they don't really have that much formal training. So why are they super hyper accurate with their weaponry? Probably they aren't. Now, I don't want to go too far this way because there is actually another raider faction over here. Actually, I think that's them shooting at ghouls right now. So I'm gonna retreat from here. I mainly wanted to go there because I wanted to take out that guy, because I know he can cause me trouble. And I think that we are ready to recover Piper, because we're not, after all of this, after all the trouble I just went through to take out all these guys up here, I'm not going through the front door. That is basically, I took them out because of exactly what I was just talking about, being afraid of grenade lobs. Basically, I'm fearful that, you know, especially with this, you know, with them being very alert, that they will detect me, that they would then, you know, close in and they would lob some grenades as we approached. Not the front door, but the alternate entrance, which I'm going to use. Jesus, okay. Something detected me, and I'm getting the hell out of here. If it's that raider that I saw the other day with the missile launcher on his in his power armor, I could die. I'm in caution, but no longer in danger. We're gonna keep retreating, because I'm just in caution. I don't know. Maybe I really need to invest in. You can't silence the sniper rifle until you get gunsmith or gun nut 3. I wasn't planning on doing gun nut 3 this early. Maybe I might reconsider that. It's always a trade-off. I am definitely at the point in the build where, you know, you say, well, what do you need? Well, I need everything. I need more perception because I need to increase my accuracy in VATS, because if I miss in VATS, I could be dead. I need, um, you know, I need more, you know, health. I need more of everything. I need science so that I can start to build up my power armor pretty soon. I need local leaders so I can establish trade routes between my settlements and um, build crafting stations within those settlements. I need all of those things, and it's a trade-off, of course. It's like any good game like this. Your trade, you cannot do everything. You just have to decide what are you going to do first, and what are you going to defer to later. Not always an easy decision, and you know, no matter what you do, you stand about an equal chance in any given situation of saying, like, oh my god, I'm so glad I had that. If I hadn't taken that extra level of that stealth perk, they would have detected me and I would have been dead. Or, oh god, if I had only taken this instead of stealth, I would have survived. You know, I just needed that one extra bit of damage in that firefight and I would have survived. So it can go down anyway. There is no perfect answer. There is no perfect build. There's always going to be a situation in which you are not optimized. I've chosen stealth. I've chosen stealth and basically, you know, VATS usage as my build, and that's my survival game. Makes sense to me. So others it won't. I was talking to someone online today about different builds and different kind of particular character builds that you could do, you know, personalities that you could do, and I like them to align. I think they're different aspects of the personality that you can draw upon based on the backstory, and you know, make that part of the character. So, you know, you could easily go for someone who is much more
What can I do?
visceral. You could go for an auto weapon, you know, heavy duty, heavy endurance build where just, you know, you're soaking up damage. That's your whole, and you're soaking up damage and dishing it out, and you're just frontal assault. You know, you could go for someone who's just a power armor build and just like, I'm gonna get every fusion core I can from every location I can, and I am just gonna walk around in power armor absolutely everywhere. Could have gone that route. There are many routes I could have gone. Could have gone for one thing I had done in the past, and actually, again, maybe I didn't want to do it on a. It didn't seem viable on a permadeath run, but I have in the past done a very much of a charisma-based run, which seems, some people might say, "Oh, you can't do that in Fallout 4. It begs you to do the combat," and it does to some extent. But don't forget there are things that you can do that enhance your companions and how much damage they do, and you basically create the build around your companions doing the work for you. What I'm trying to do here is get a good beat on that one in the window. As you saw, if you're a keen-eyed observer, there's another one floating around up there. There's a ton of ghouls down here. The good thing about this, you doing it this way, is that the silenced weapon does not give away my position to the folks in Corvega. Hey, Piper, would you do me a huge favor? Go over there and don't point the gun at me. I see there's something up there. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, so I don't know, oh man, so it's hard, that little tiny window. But I really want to take them out because I have had them come up behind me At least some of them. I want to take some of them out. I don't want them coming up. Ruining my day. I suppose I could go in there. I'm a little want to do so, but... What? You can't... It's very unnerving, madam. You point your gun directly at me. It's just... It does make me scratch my head, just the AI. Come on, where are they? Now, they're doing... I obviously triggered some tumbling from the tops ghoul behavior here. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get him. Sometimes the ones that I just killed, they just fall right out of that tower and just kind of just end up falling down. Oh, wait. Boy, they're definitely on me. They smell something. Wish I could get in there. That would be defensible. Ah, there we go. Another one. Oh.
Here's hoping they don't come back.
Well, those aren't going to come back, but some others could. Here's hoping they don't... Ah, there we go. It's hoping they don't attract attention from Corvega. It is kind of funny that Corvega... They set up here... Preston and his gang set up here. And he's like, oh, the ghouls drove us out. It's like, okay, the ghouls drove you out. What about the frickin' raiders who were right across the street? One would have thought they would have also driven you out. Or at least made your lives a living hell. This is why when we get to the point later, very soon in the game, when it's saying, like, hey, would you like to work more closely with the Minutemen? Well, he's already kind of made that, but I mean, you know what I'm talking about, the offer that Preston makes you. It makes perfect sense, but it's because I'm like, I'll be honest, Preston, I don't think he's been doing that great of a job. He's kept a few of the people alive, for sure, but it's just, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, he's a... now, I don't want to go any further up than this, because up there is the aforementioned Raider in power armor. I'm messing with him right now. Don't need to. Not going to do it. He's a threat I do not need to neutralize. Just there is no sense in risking my neck for threats that I am, you know, not going to get me the quest or aren't necessary for me to move from A to B. So I did want to show you this though really quickly, so just so folks can see. Again, we've upgraded the shotgun substantially, so that'll be pretty helpful if we run into something very nasty. The suppressor, again, of course, is locked by gun nut 3. Equipment-wise, parts-wise, it's not that difficult. And it really doesn't affect the range that much. We're talking about, yeah, you lose about 30 meters, but, you know. So I guess, you know, in this particular case, I might have felt that, but I'm not that worried about it. But yeah, this is the situation where when I'm down here trying to get into that entrance, dealing with those ghouls, if I'm not careful, and I actually should switch back to the sniper rifle while I'm at it. If I'm not careful, I get a nasty surprise from somebody standing up here, and I should, in fact, take just a quick look down here and make sure. No other surprises. Yeah, like you see how that guy has a... He actually does... You wouldn't think it from standing way up there by the overpass, but he actually has a very clear view of things down here. And it's very, very bad for me if I don't take him out. But yeah, we move into Lexington proper. assiduously avoiding the other raider group that's... I mean, I assume they're a subgroup of the Corvega folks. We're going to very carefully avoid them. Now, again, you see that? Either they're detecting me from over there, which is possible, or there's somebody else up here, and more than once. Yep. Okay. Okay, now, I think I heard the noise from over there. I think that's where I heard it. I think they're over here. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Nothing there now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jump in the
Yeah, it's those guys up there. So I don't want to mess with them at all because they very possibly have... they're joking about Jet. They very possibly have a Fat Man or a missile launcher. An interesting symbol, which doesn't mean anything to us right now, but will in the future. So without that to worry about now, we're going to go retreat and get into the Corvega Assembly Plant.